FiveAA.
Who'flung Dung, Neutrog's biologically activated nutrient-rich super mulch from garden stores. Neutrog.com.au. This is FiveAA Weekend.
Morning, everyone. Michael Keelan's Weekend. It's 26 minutes to 8. Gavin Woods is going to join us very shortly, sitting in for Dr. Yui as we talk all things Neutrog. In fact, Neutrog have given us today to give away, and we love them and thank them for this. Seamungus. We've got the 1.2 kilo Seamungus and a litre of go-go juice to give away as well, available at all good hardware and garden stores. Just before we get to Gavin, an email here from Anne who says, "Good morning, Michael. Love the show.
Yes.
Michael, the frost last week has ended my succulents and agave elephant ears time in my garden. I thought I might nurse them back to health before giving them away. It's just too cold here. Do you have any suggestions how to revive them, as they have all collapsed with damaged tissue?"
Yes,
Succulents, agave, no good.
it's interesting, but one of the things that we should always remember to do is this.
Let it go, let it go.
Because the plant will tell you if it is going to respond and grow out of it with new growth that will come weeks later in some cases. Your succulents, I find that difficult to understand because they're fairly tough, but full of moisture. I understand the science behind it, but never throw things away or discard them to the compost heap after that sort of damage.
Yep.
Don't cut them back. Just let nature show you the way. And if after spring, now spring's only weeks away when you think about it. What are we now?
Start of July.
60 days away.
Yep.
But plants are already turning the corner. They know that spring's in the air. They will start to grow. They'll start to shoot. They'll start to bud up. And then that's when you ring people like myself and say, what do I do then? Prune it back to an outward growing shoot. Give it some organic fertiliser. Cut back on the watering. But at the moment, really seriously, just let it go. It's one of those things. I know we want to do something to help our plants. I know if we've got damage to trees, shrubs, succulents, roses, ferns, just let them go.
Okay. There you go.
Gavin Woods, good morning.
Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Lou.
There you go.
Are you too far to make the distance down from that beautiful haven you're in at Kadina?
Oh, look, at this hour of the morning, although I see you got Kelvin up a lot earlier than I.
Yeah.
He's a bit closer than me.
Yeah, he is. Hey, Gavin, did you get some nice rain up at Kadina way?
We did. We got about 30 mils, Michael, which was fabulous. But as I said, the lizard stopped me getting out digging the dahlias, which was the job for this weekend.
Okay. Nick, why? What do you do with your dahlias every year? Do you dig them out, do you?
Dig them and divide them and store them and do it all again next year, Michael.
So for the home gardener, Gavin, I know we're going to talk roses in a minute, but for the home gardener, that's a big job, isn't it, every year?
Look, it is, Michael. I don't think the home gardener needs to do it every year if they're in a well-drained soil. You can probably leave them 2 or 3 years, but as you know with dahlias, they clump up more each year, and after 2 or 3 years, you're going to have a heck of a clump to get out of the ground. So we get them out so we can principally improve the soil, and you know, I start adding all the great Neutrog products straight away to improve the soil and have the soil really good by November, which is when I replant them.
Now, Gavin, is that the same for the tree dahlia?
No, tree dahlias are just best left in the ground, Michael. I have tried to dig them, and, you know, they make tubers up to 2 or 3 feet long.
Yes, I know.
So, yeah, and they take several years to really establish a clump. I've got the biggest clump at the moment I've ever had. It's absolutely fabulous and flowered well before the frost got it, which is the problem with tree dahlias, is that they're very frost tender.
And is there still the interest in showing dahlias, Gavin? I know that you grow them to show, but...
Look, Mark, Yeah, it's coming back. We've had a very low period. I think with the drought and water restrictions, Dahlia's really suffered. But, we've got a very active society, and all credit to the current executive. They've hung in there, and it's on the way back, I'm pleased to report.
I always worry about how a chief judge can show their dahlias.
Well, it helps with winning, Michael, and it's almost as good as putting a $20 note under the bottle, you know. But, no, look, we don't judge our own flowers, obviously, and if we have a flower that is in final contention for best in show, we just withdraw from the decision. So it's all above board.
All above board. Now, Gavin, in preparation... I know you're sitting in for Yui today, but you've been a convert of Neutrog products for years, haven't you, with your roses and dahlias?
Look, Michael, I often think about the trouble we used to have to go to make concoctions to feed our gardens before Neutrog, and it was an absolute nightmare, and everyone had a different recipe, where you'd mix blood and bone and sulphate of potash and mineral mix and all those things together and hope for the best. But Neutrog have just taken that away and made it easy for us. So you don't have to add anything other than Neutrog products.
So with your dahlias, let's stay with those. I'm sure many people listening would grow them, but perhaps not with the intensity that you do. But what do you feed your dahlias with, and when do you feed them?
Well, look, I feed the soil first, Michael. As I said, I get the tubers out. I'll then plant a green manure crop on the bare soil, and I'll feed the green manure crop with both go-go juice. Well, you're feeding the soil, obviously, with go-go juice and Seamungus. But when I've turned the green manure crop in, I'll continue with the go-go juice monthly until I plant. I don't fertilise them at planting, but in about January I use sudden impact for roses on the dahlias. Sudden impact for roses can be used on any flowering plant because it's higher in potash than most fertilisers, and it's absolutely fabulous. It's all you need.
So what would you be doing with your roses at the moment?
Okay, well, I'm a bit different to Kelvin in that I'm usually late with pruning. I don't prune until the end of July and early August. So I've actually put out the Seamungus already, and was very excited yesterday with the rain because that will carry that through to the root zone. Seamungus helps with cold tolerance. And as Kelvin said, the roots are always growing on roses, so it gives the whole plant a boost. So that's what I'm doing now. I will feed them with sudden impact at the sign of first growth. And actually, I was a bit alarmed. A friend from Port Wakefield rang me a couple of days ago to say his roses are moving already. It's a bit warmer at Port Wakefield. I checked mine yesterday, and thankfully they're not moving because really you want to get them pruned, before that stage. But yeah, I'll put the first application of sudden impact for roses on usually in early September, and then I do it again before I do the summer trim, which is about the end of February. So 2 feeds a year with sudden impact.
Gavin, you mentioned go-go juice, but you use that in other areas too, don't you, apart from your green manure crops, in settling? Yeah. Tell us about that.
I do, Michael. Look, if I'm working up a new bed, which I've got 2 currently that I've been working off for 12 months, they'll get a monthly application of go-go juice. That stimulates the bioactivity in the soil. And I actually planted a rose in the new bed yesterday, and the worm activity was unbelievable. And, that's got to be partly due to go-go juice. It's just fabulous stuff.
Well, I think, Gavin, you've bumped Yui for the job. We've been, sort of monitoring your effort, diction, information, accuracy.
Perfect.
And it's perfect.
So what's the rate of pay, Michael?
Not a lot.
No. Okay.
Not a lot.
I'll consider it.
Okay. Gavin, well done. Thanks for your time. But you obviously not down for the pruning today at the Botanic Garden, but you'll be part of these Rose Lovers series that's coming out?
Absolutely, Michael, and we're very excited about it. We hope we get a lot of people who have got a few roses in their backyard or a lot of roses, and not necessarily society members. That doesn't matter. We're just out there to spread the word about growing great roses.
Excellent. Gavin Woods, thank you very much indeed for that little chat on fertiliser, looking after roses and also dahlias.
Thanks, Michael.
Cheers, Gavin.
See you, Gavin.
Gavin Woods, National President of the Rose Society, Dahlia Society,
Yes.
Head Judge, and all round. He's a really nice man, Gavin, but lives up there at Kadina, which would be pretty hot in summer, and grows some of the best roses in Australia.
Yep, he's the Winx of the rosewood. He's winning it all at the moment. He's the one to beat. He walks in and he cleans up. He's sitting in for Dr. Yui today, who's away for Neutrog. He asked about the budget. We'll pay Gavin what we pay Dr. Yui.
Yes.
Probably, Michael.
0.0.
So that will be a little bit of an effort. But if he wants to drive in from Kadina to join us, we would love to have him. No, only kidding. We love Dr. Yui. He'll be back next week to join us. We're going to take a short break. Your calls, your emails, your Facebook messages. Any gardening questions for Michael, go to 8223 0000.
Garden looking a bit drab? Rejuvenate it with Seamungus from Neutrog. Jam-packed full of goodness, Seamungus can be applied year-round to all your garden plants, including natives and bare-rooted roses. Retaining up to 70% of its own weight and moisture, Seamungus will help your plants resist frost, pests and disease, as well as conditioning the soil. And it's in pellet form for easy application. For more details, visit neutrog.com.au.
If oily